Hi, everybody. I am just typing in a little message in here. Uh, I'm waiting for a few moments for, uh, I'm trying to spell at the same time. Okay. So we will begin in a minute. This is a land culture people clearing or people land culture clearing, however, whatever order you want to say it in. And these got started because I was working on a client and there was so much around her in her environment in Scotland of so many dead people from not just present, but all the way back in the history because there was so much history of warfare where she was living that we just decided that needed clearing. That was like constantly in her face. And so, yes, it is about us holding our space, but then there's this piece that also comes in for people who are highly sensitive or highly aware of at the non-physical level, which was the case for her. And so I that was the first one that I did about a year ago, focused on Scotland, and it was quite an interesting experience to do. So a lot of dead people, clearing out a lot of dead people, and that really helped her clear out of her space, feel a lot clearer, uh, and kind of get moving. So I've done several of them. We did also South Africa, Austria, Netherlands, Canada, India, and then also have done the Pacific Ocean, which was a just absolutely amazing experience to do the Pacific Ocean. And it's sort of like clearing up the garbage of humans in the ocean and also the Indian Ocean. And then I basically do these by request. So these are part of my public service offerings. So if oh, I don't have water, I'll be okay. If I won't be looking at the chat, but hi Elizabeth, welcome. Thanks for joining. But if you're watching and you post a comment, I'll take a look at the chats at the end. So if you're participating, watching with this, please do feel free to comment, and I will go over the comments at the end. So anything that I say, just you can come in. Hi Anna, thanks. Just getting started, just kind of giving a little explanation of where this is, the background on this. So thanks for joining. And please do comment on the things that I say, because I'll get this imagery and feel free to correct me if I'm saying something that's a little wrong, because sometimes interpretation it might not be quite accurate. So let's all get settled in, and those who are watching are also participating in the sense because I will guide you to just kind of hold your space, and by holding your space, you're providing, in essence, a guiding light for anything that gets cleared. So today, really focusing on El Salvador, so a very small country, and just a lot of psychological stress. We'll just kind of leave it at that, but just the warfare that came up in very recent history. Was just psychologically very damaging for people. And we'll just go back in the history. So it's been starting to prep. Yesterday, I was starting to see like the natives, Native Americans from that area showing up in my meditation. So ready and really having the sense that the forces are behind us doing this. And I guess a really good time to do this because there's apparently a portal that's open between the the Earth and the Pleiadians. I don't know very much about that, but hey, we'll take all the juju we can, right? All the support we can. So basically, the focus and the intention is to free up the land, the people, and the culture of the burdens of the past, and just going back in time. It's not about just recent history. So let's take a nice deep breath in. Let's all get settled in. If you're watching, just really come into your physical environment and your physical body, and taking a moment to just really sit and take that in, really settle into your present moment. And this will be important for just to stay in your physical environment, and I'll direct you every once in a while as needed. What I'm seeing already is that it's like there's the space for the clearing to happen in, and then it's like the participants, those who are watching this have kind of this viewers gallery up above, and I'm already seeing that, and people. So that kind of separates you out from where the clearing is happening and the actual clearing, and but puts you there, kind of thing. So, and just really kind of aligning with the purest source within ourselves, and our pure essence, our pure presence, our spirit, however you want to whatever terminology you want to use, but that purest aspect of yourself, of your being. And hello, Dee, welcome. And just coming into that alignment for yourself, and really feeling that anchoring you in to this present moment in time. Yes, thanks everybody for joining in. Feel free to comment. As I said earlier, as I go along, I will take comments. I will take a look at the chat at the end, but not so much during because I focus in a little bit more deeply here. Of anything that comes up for you as I'm doing the clearing. So really settling in again on that, into that, feeling that connection to the purest source, to your spirit, in your pure essence, in that, in your present environment, your physical environment, this moment in time. And really being grounded into our physical reality of the earth that we live on, as well as your physical environment. So bringing that in to deepen that connection for you. Okay, very good. And as I work through this, just stay focused. Hi, Bhavna. Just stay focused on your body. Focus on your breath, with everything that you're that you may notice for yourself as this is going on. So let me open the way here, and just focusing on your breath and your physical body and physical environment as I proceed. Okay. Now turning my attention to El Salvador. And already I'm seeing this, it's like a huge beam of light coming down from off the planet, and a lot of movement of rising up of basically dead people. So opening up the way for this clearing already to begin. And little by little, so I haven't. I did look up an image of a visual just to have that visual in my mind of the country. So modern day El Salvador, there's some different boundaries from before, but kind of sticking to the modern day boundaries just for ease here. Okay. So what's coming forth now is that their image of warfare and really in the jungle areas right now. Oh, and in the cities in the villages and towns, it's like images of dead people in the streets. Um, uh, so some of this is not fun images, but I'm just gonna say what I need to just release it. Uh, yeah. Well, a little difficult to speak of this too, but it needs to be brought forth. So torture of people, kind of extreme torture of people, and I like getting taken to the jungle, and ah, so bringing this out of the land. And part of the reason for doing this combination, it's not just a land clearing or clearing of people. It's whatever. It's these three components I find come in and get tied together. Um, uh, in their own particular way in each area. Ah, so there's, yeah, just lifting off a lot of just very sticky, tarry, dark uh, uh, energies that really tie in. There's with a lot of manipulation. So this feels like it's more modern times right now that's coming through. But at this extreme uh, abuse of people, and abuse is it just even feels mild compared to the stuff that's really coming through of this psychological torture of people, and almost very demented ways, just out of this power struggle ah, of wanting to take back control and dominance, and even even if it's for a good cause of coming into freer society, just how it's done. Ugh, when people like Che Guevara might have had a really good intentions to begin with, but when you use your medical skills to purposely torture people to the most painful way because you have knowledge of the medical body, is atrocious. That your good intentions are just completely dissolved there. And so I see this being cleared out here. And people, so what and people getting very distorted because they don't know which way to turn. So everything that they have learned to be okay, to be indicators of what is good and valid, completely turned around. And so this really split in the person of being totally torn. Your reference points of what's good is totally gone, and and totally distorted. It's not even that they're gone; it's just totally twisted around. And so you can't. Yeah, it's double torture. It's so a lot of that coming up, and then oh yes. And now I'm seeing priests and nuns also starting to show up and oh, trying to hold the light as best as possible for themselves, and not for themselves. For what I mean by that is hold it within themselves for those that they are trying to um, hold in, not in safety, to lead to a better place. So all of that is clearing up. There's just very just nasty, dark, sticky stuff. So that's in the process of clearing out. So everybody take a nice deep breath into here. You're all above this, this this is happening here, and then you're all above here, and the clearing is going out that way. So no worries there. Oh, very heavy stuff to clear out. Yeah. So take a nice deep breath in, feel your spine, feel yourself centered in your physical environment. And as this keeps clearing, so I'm going to keep working on this to clear this out. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you guys have this nice little light halo that you're in, so you're you're above all this, even though you can kind of like watch and witness. You're still above all this, so really good. And then it's just the big dark. It's not even a cloud. It's so dense and thick. That's just rising up. So very good. Ugh. Wow, really, really pretty heavy here. Ugh. Okay, it's starting to lighten up, but it's still very thick and very heavy. So just keep focused on your spine. Focus on your physical environment. Focus on your breath. Stay very connected, very present with yourself. And what I feel happening, so it's like I was seeing these little figures of light up here where you guys are, and what's happening with that is as you're really kicking in, and it's in essence saying no. Is saying we're going no to all of this. Yes, time to release this. Time to clear it out. So a lot is cleared out. There's still more coming out of the land. Really, just infused. It's more than infused. Just soaked with all of this darkness. Earlier, before I got on the call, it was interesting because I was seeing these layers. Like there's the really ancient layer here, indigenous layer here in culture and life, and then there was this other layer that got placed on top, and then this other layer, and then this other layer. So the conquistadors came in, and then they brought in that whole, and it was twisted. I'm sorry, the conquistadors, it was very twisted. That they came in with. They did maybe necessarily were aware of that, didn't intend that, but it really there was just this twisted piece that came in with the conquistador. And then each layer successive. So it was very interesting to see these different layers that were coming, piling, that were revealing themselves to me. So coming back to. Okay, so now it's just the blood coming out of the land, just flowing out of the land. So that's a good clearing. It's dark stuff. It's a lot of pain, a lot of death, a lot of yeah. We'll just leave it at that. A lot of pain and death, and just flowing out of the land. And I'm just seeing it flow out of the land and kind of washing out into the Pacific, into the ocean. And so that's starting, yeah. So now we're starting to slow that down. There's and I will push out past those boundaries, those country boundaries. So it's starting to feel a lot lighter compared to a minute ago. But then there's the stillness that's starting to come in. And I'm seeing some indigenous figures that are standing, crouching actually, and like either with maybe a spear or something, and in jungle, but watching. So they're and doing their own ceremonies, participating to participate in this clearing. Yeah. Um, like I'm seeing like I guess what probably is a shaman. Oh, thank you, Jean. Nice to see you. Thanks for stopping in. I'm just doing a little land clearing here, so thank you for stopping in. And just take a deep breath into yourself, Jean, and really focus on your physical body, your physical spine, just to stay anchored in your physical presence. Because even though we're separate, we're all at that deeper level, we're all connected and all, this is all, we're all together here. So we're coming into a much deeper, stiller space. There's, yeah, on the borders, I think Guatemala and Honduras up, so it's more kind of up here and up here on the map. That's still a little dense. So it's starting to dissipate. So yeah, I was seeing an indigenous figures like in the forest and just kind of doing this incantation. There's prayers and like a shaman and participating to clear this out to and I'm hearing also for healing of people, to bring healing to people. Yeah, so okay, now there's another layer that's showing up, very different layer. It feels like it goes back earlier to the time to the conquistadors coming in. And it's interesting because what I see with that is clearing them up from the suffering. And I say my uncle's a shaman there. Well, okay, maybe that's your uncle then over there. So the suffering of the conquistadors, because they came in with a little bit of twisted agenda, let's say, but also just falling ill and and through that going the illness and falling ill and dying in the jungle. So they're coming through now. Ah. And freeing up their spirits and their energies, however you want to see it. The dead people have a tendency to not necessarily go to heaven, quote unquote. Depends on what happens when you die. But also energies of people kind of coming can be still hanging around us. It's like, oh God, I always feel like mom's around me or whatever, dad's around me, and that is that person's energies, frequencies, however, whatever terminology you want to use there. So that's coming through. Yeah, and some of them, so back in those days, going to the other side of the earth, as far as they were concerned, and never returning home. So clearing that out and releasing them. There we go. Yeah, now there's just this deep, deep silence and stillness that's come through. Okay. So kind of much lighter, much clearer. I still see the shaman there, and very bright around him, very, very bright light. So everybody let's take a nice deep breath in at this juncture, really feeling your breath filling up your body, and slow release with the breath. Oh yeah, so nice. What I'm saying that because I'm starting to kind of hear it and feel it. Just this lightness coming through, and some happy sounds, I guess I could call it. Happy sounds can be like, children at the playground having fun, party, people laughing, enjoying themselves. So there's that lightness that's starting to come through, which is good. I'm starting to get images of people coming out of their houses and greeting each other. Uh, it's like coming back out, like people have been in hiding, in essence. When you've been psychologically abused, let alone any kind of abuse, but psychological abuse is very difficult because you can't point to it. You can't say, "There's the evidence of it." You're all twisted around in your mind, and so in your being and how you are, get all twisted around. Um, and not knowing who you could turn to, and so that's been used in a lot of places to pit people against each other, and then you don't know who's going to turn you in. And so that's what I'm seeing, that is counter to that, so it's the opposite. So getting seeing people, like I said, people coming out and of their houses and connecting with each other again. And still more layers pulling off, but it's almost seems mundane compared to where we started out. So let's really focus in on, and you guys can do this too, participate in this way by holding in your mind that purity of the people, of the culture, of the land. Seeing El Salvador, its people, and not just present, but going back through history, all the history that's there in the land and in the people, and seeing that the purity being restored. I'm going to be a little quiet for a minute to focus in a little bit more deeply on this, bringing in this purity. Yeah, so releasing from a very deep level, deep into the ground, and it's just streaming way up high off the planet, through this beam of light. So uh, more dead people rising up out of the ground, being released, being freed. I want to make sure this goes all the way to a little bit beyond the boundaries. Boundaries are the technical borders. Those are just kind of modern day distinctions here. There's some, okay, I'm going to work with that a little bit. There is some kind of, I want to make sure that they're clean, at least, what we could identify as negative, negative kind of entities or because there's a lot of stuff like that in the jungles. And I just want to check in with that too. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to work with that one a little bit, clear that up. Oh, there we go. Okay. Whether it's dark or light, everybody wants to move up. That's one thing we all have in common. If we go into these negative, uh, positive, dark or light kind of thing. So coming back to El Salvador, yeah, I want to get it a little bit clearer. It's looking pretty nice, pretty bright here. So that's good. So let's I'll take a nice deep breath in, feeling your spine, feeling your physical environment, feeling that pureness, really having a sense of that within yourself and extending that to El Salvador. And that just, it's so cool to see this. It's like you guys are up here, and it's just like this. All of a sudden, you do that, and it's just this beam of light coming down from the viewing gallery, I call it, down into where the clearing is, to the land, to the people. And wow, okay, then I'm seeing people down there receiving it and going, yeah, dancing around. And so feeling that. So see you guys participate. By just joining like that, you also do your little part with that. So that's really nice to see. Okay, I'm gonna expand out and now it's this sense of people working together to grow and to grow together, to grow the culture, to come into a new way of being. So a lot more cooperation, become even stronger. And a lot more, what's the word? So a sense of a lot of, it's more like negotiation instead of like attacking another person or taking them to court. There's a lot more kind of like, let's find a solution. Let's find that middle ground. Let's work together, kind of approach. So, um, a lot. So that indicates a lot of letting go of animosity, any pain or any suffering. There's this openness in people's hearts and people's minds for one another, and that is really huge. So there's all it feels like there's always been that flavor of cooperation and coordination with people, but then it more recently that piece got taken, got very distorted because it was really used in a negative way and negative intent. Um, just because, and I say that just because of the negative impact that had on people. The intentions were valid. There was basically just dictatorship kind of stuff that was going on. But so that was used, and so that's that's how things get twisted. Is we take something that has technically a good it is for a good intention, so negotiation and cooperation, and then you twist that around on people by making them lose their sense of what they can rely on. So it's like you rely on the other person to be cooperative, and then yeah, sure, they're cooperative with you, and at the same time, they start torturing you, or start, kind of, you find out that you were turned in by that person, or the other person or whatever, or you don't know, you were told that, you have no way of knowing and kind of thing. So it starts to unravel that whole real cooperation. So, coming back to that pure essence of of releasing. So that's like the cultural clearing piece, releasing that so that we can go back to that pure expression of cooperation and coordination, and working together to build a new society, basically a newer country, new society, and stepping into the new. So all this is really about stepping into the new, coming into a new place, a new state of being, for the here in particular for El Salvador, for the country, the culture, and the people, the land. So the land can also be more fruitful. So yeah, there's still some pieces clearing out of the land here. Little streamers. I'm seeing the little streamers come out, just clearing out as I'm talking. So taking a nice deep breath in and holding that sense of new and restoration of purity to the country, to the land, to the culture, the people. So yeah, just little pieces here and there, kind of struggling with that, which is kind of normal when we've been, kind of in a bad place and something good comes our way, then we kind of, it's normal to have a little bit of resistance. So we'll just clear clear that up too. Yeah, there we go. And resistance, like out of grief, for just still left over from pain, from the suffering. There we go. Looking very nice and bright. So let's move that up, transmute that, all of that. Further back. And let's just kind of anchor that in. Anchor that into the purity of pure source of the new. Oh, there we go. Very nice. So earlier you might be wondering about this, because that was coming up. It's like that, all that blood just releasing out of the land into the ocean, and that's completely dissolved. Things do get recycled. Um, so everybody take a deep breath in. And just notice how you feel right now. So really good clearing. So yeah, so things are in the process of shifting, of restructuring themselves. So it's literally like I'm seeing these little structures that are reforming, reforming. And so let's clear up a little bit more of that. And releasing. Let's do one final release there. Really, it looks very bright, very good now. very quiet. Yeah, so please comment in on what you're feeling for yourselves now, if you were, especially if you're from there, but also if you just participated. So nice to see everybody showing up. Thanks for stopping in. And my friend Jean, somebody I know from way back. So thanks for stopping by. I don't know if you're still here, but thanks for stopping by. Bhavna. And like clearing the pain body of the country and land. Yeah, yeah, totally. That's an interesting way of putting it. Yeah, everything has kind of this energy field, basically, vibrational field, energy field, and energy field. So those are a little bit different. Vibrational energy is denser than vibration, though energy has vibration. But if we just kind of if we have to draw a line, that would be the line. And oh, Allie, hi. Popped in. So just tune into yourself and see how that feels, how you feel right now. It's pretty heavy. It was very heavy at first. Every time I do one of these, it's completely different. It's a very different experience. So a lot of heavy stickiness and maybe heavier because it is very recent history that we cleared up here. We're talking like, I believe, like as late as I can't remember exactly. So Anna, correct me on this, but I think like it was that whole guerrilla warfare stuff was and just the Civil War basically was into the 90s, I think. So that's not very long ago. Early 90s maybe. So that could be part of why it was really very dense, very heavy, very sticky, sticky stuff. So a lot of very bright now. And some old history stuff came through there. Kind of depends on each time it's a little different. So there we have it. So take a nice deep breath in. Oh. Feel yourself where you are. And yeah, feel that stillness, feel that calm that's there. After a hard journey. Stop in the 90s, yes, start in the 70s. So, God, feels like that was longer, but that's 20 years. That's long enough. That's way too long. So, yeah, very nice. Very nice to clear all that up. And feels a lot calmer. Yeah, very nice. Yeah. So, what were you noticing at the beginning? I'm kind of interesting to hear. Feels a lot calmer. So when you came in, you kind of came in at some point. Yeah, good. So good that it feels lighter. Yeah. And so, kind of coming back to this, a little explanation is just since we have some time here. Yeah, everything has an energy field, has frequencies, and so there's physical levels. The only place that we're all separated out, that there's a distinction. There's me here. There's the computer. There's the wall. And at those, it felt very heavy at the beginning. Yes, yes, it was. Yes, I'm glad you felt that. Yeah, but as soon as we're not, tapping into the non-physical, everything is connected. Everything is there. And well, to really bring it to mind, so at a physical level, this is at a physical level, but that will kind of anchor it in for you. We have a closed system. So we've got the earth, and then we've got those layers of atmospheres, and it's a closed system because you go beyond a point and there's no oxygen left. You can't breathe. It's very much contained. So if you stop and think about it, every airplane that's ever flown over the globe, you're breathing it in because it's a closed system, because it's there. It doesn't go anywhere. So it you don't notice it, you don't see it, but it's there because we're living in a closed system. So it's like we're living inside a balloon. So when you realize that everything is there, everything is connected, everything that we've done, so at the non-physical level, all the history is there. So it won't change the events. It won't make that these events didn't happen. But what it will do is that it's like, oh, okay, this happened, and it creates kind of a distance. It's just like looking at something and saying, oh, there, that's a square. Instead of having all the negative impact of that, it's just like, well, okay, people were tortured, and yes, that happened, and not having that impact. So um, that helps people move forward. So in something like, well, we don't want torture to happen again to people, and so not having that impact, that negative impact that's going, ugh, that's just really going like that on us, we're less likely to move into those that kind of abuse of ourselves and of others and of life. So good. Yeah, very heavy stuff and feels lighter now. So really good. I'm glad. It's kind of nice to hear you guys are feeling it too. Really heavy stuff. So thank you everybody for stopping in. So El Salvador, yay. Let's all move forward and and until next time. So it's good to have you all stop in, and see you around next time, wherever that is.